All right, people, the time has come. It's the beautiful thing about me kind of building this platform throughout the year because I get to control the own narrative and kind of fill people in on why I made the decision I made and everything that went into it. And so I'm going to start with the fact that the decision for me wasn't easy at all, and I ultimately decided to put my name in the transfer portal with the intention of kind of going one place, but it doesn't mean it was easy. And so I just want to start by saying this isn't a Coach Grant decision. This wasn't a gauge of my happiness on the court or off the court or anything like that. For me, it was way deeper than that. And if you've known me, if you know me at all from my early years, which I'm sure some of the people that watch the channel do, but lots of you don't. And I'm a twin brother, and that's a large part of my identity. And I think the beautiful thing about the past couple of years is the fact that I've gotten to grow away from that and become my own person. And then it's not Mason and Gabe anymore, it's just Mason, and I think there's beauty in that. At the same time, I think there's something really special to be said about kind of the connection that we have and the fact that when I committed to Cincinnati in the first place, that I thought I was getting 4 years there with my best friend who's also my twin brother. And we were stripped of kind of any closure out of high school and then figured we would get that in college. And just the way it worked out, we never played a game together. And our coach ended up getting fired our freshman year. He moved to Utah. I stayed at Cincy for one more to see it through and just decided the fit wasn't right. Ultimately ended at BC. And I'm going to just start by saying, I told Coach Grant this, I told AG this, I don't know if I knew how much I needed BC for these 2 years of my life. And I mean, it's documented to an extent, just the medical and health struggles that I've dealt with. And me and Doc Cormier and Nick were all tied for life, and this is somewhere that I'm always going to think of as like one of my homes, and I think that's a really special thing. If I wasn't here, I can pretty firmly say that I wouldn't have ever gotten fully healthy, and so I think there's so much beauty in that. And so, yeah, it doesn't mean everything was easy, because it wasn't, and I think that's well documented throughout this year too. And I wish there was video from last year, because I think just the growth kind of mentally and physically from last year to this year, I feel like a completely new person. I feel rejuvenated to an extent and just really excited, but none of that's possible without being here and without the connections that I've made and playing for Coach Grant, and like, I can't speak on everyone else's decision, and I don't think it would be right for me to do so. Like, obviously I have some information, but I don't think it's my spot to step in and say why everyone left, like our starting five and a few more. I will say that it's not a Coach Grant thing, and I think that's appropriate to say, because like, I see the slander. I know that he's not a big social media guy and he won't let it get to him, but like, if you're watching this and you're a BC fan, it's not a Coach Grant thing. And I will never say anything bad about Coach Grant, and I'll speak very fondly of him, and I think we're connected for life, and he's going to speak at my wedding, all this. But for me, the decision was a family one. And I mean, it started as that for sure. And then obviously when the basketball piece lined up, I told Coach Smith this, like, for all the Utah fans watching this, like, there's no one more familiar with Utah basketball, maybe outside of the coaches and the players, than I am. And so, like, that excites me, because obviously I have 1 year left, but to be able to transition seamlessly and smoothly into kind of a new situation, partly because of my brother, but also partly just because of how I feel like Coach Smith and I clicked on my visit, and obviously over the phone too. And he's been recruiting me since high school when he was at Utah State, and so to kind of form that relationship and watch it grow and blossom, I think is going to be a really special thing. And it's funny, like, on my visit, we sat down for breakfast the first day, and Gabe was there, all the coaches were there, Coach Smith right across from me, and we get to talk, and then somehow the scene in Miracle where Herb Brooks is in the hallway after the game, and after the championship game, and he's celebrating kind of in silence, and just all the emotion comes out. We kind of clicked on that scene, and I was like, that's one of the best scenes in any movie. And he was like, yeah, that's my favorite movie. I was like, me too. And he was like, that's 1A for me, but I would say 1B is probably the pursuit of happiness. And I was like, me too. And I was like, that's kind of crazy. And I said to him, it's this like when you're dating a girl and things keep lining up and you're like, this is kind of weird and it feels right. And so it's just a funny thing that Coach Smith and I connected on right away. But yeah, especially the basketball piece lining up. I think that because I wasn't going to sacrifice that. I knew that I was leaving a good situation here, where I played 30 minutes a game for the last 15 games of the year and had worked myself into a good spot and felt confident. I think that it wouldn't have been right to leave a situation that I felt good about unless I knew 100% kind of what I was getting myself into. And I think that's what I have with Utah. And on top of that, just being able to play with my twin brother in a full circle moment, it's one of the most special things that could have happened for me and for us. And I think that it's something we'll look back on for the rest of our lives and be thankful for, you know? And so, yeah, I just ultimately wanted to get on here, kind of clear the air a little bit, use my platform, which I guess this episode is a little more like a podcast than anything else, but I think just being able to talk openly and transparently about kind of my decision and what went into it. And yeah, I guess it's the beautiful thing about having a YouTube and a camera in front of me, you know? So actually, kind of side news, getting a new camera. So hopefully we see the content take a little jump this next year, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And so for anyone tuning in, like I just want to, for all the BC fans, first of all, thank you. You know, like you helped me get this thing off the ground, and I really do, that you're invested still in me. And I know obviously most of the loyalty goes to the program, but hopefully I've created a fan out of you, and I would love to stay in touch with lots of people. And I'm just forever thankful for my time here. I'll no doubt be back at different times with obviously Sierra still here, and although a limited role for her on the vlog next year probably. She starred at times this year, so I'll be back for sure. But then for all the Ute fans, let's get to it. I think that, this might be the first video any of you are watching. And I guess the thing that I want to tell you is that I'm here to try to bridge the gap between players and fans and to give kind of the Utah fans a special look behind the scenes. And we'll hopefully keep these going through the summer, and just document everything from day in the lives. And I got some more stuff in mind as far as interviews and podcasts go. And so we'll see what happens with that. But obviously, I started this whole thing, the very first video I ever took, I said, if no one else gets anything out of this, then I think it's still worth it for me, because I'll be able to look back on this time in my life and kind of watch fondly on like my college days and be really grateful that I did something like this. And so, yeah, I hope that everyone kind of stays along for the ride. I don't know where this thing will end up, but I do know that I enjoy doing it. I enjoy looking back on it. And I think in a way it's an outlet for me. And so that's just a little bit about me for everyone that's new here. Obviously, if you're a BC fan, you know that. And I want y'all to know I appreciate the support. I hope y'all stick around. And yeah, just I appreciate the love. I appreciate my time here. And I look forward to what's coming next in Utah. So that's it for now. Just want to hop on, fill people in, and we'll catch y'all at some point soon. But until then, peace.